then we haven't seen her. Fast forwarding to when they came about the remains on the 15th of May in Bella's Gate, St. Catherine. We got back the result for the DNA on Friday, which confirmed that the remains were that of my sister.
Wow.
So no, it's a murder investigation, not a missing person investigation.
So, from the 6th of January, you reported that your sister went missing.
Well, her husband reported her missing.
Her husband reported her missing. And his name is who?
Shane McCullough.
Shane McCullough. Interesting. Did you go to the police and report this?
When we went there, they told us that we're not able to make another report because a missing person report was already made.
Oh, so they're saying that they already have a missing person report. So,
right.
How long did it take you for them to start the investigation?
Well, we would think that the investigation started right after the report was made.
Mm-hmm.
However, to my knowledge, I would say that the real investigation started when the MID took over the case. About 3 months later.
So after it's 3 months later. It's 3 months later them take up your sister case and start investigating. 90 days after.
MID, that is correct. Yep.
MID stands for what?
Major Investigation Division.
The Major Investigation Division. Interesting. So why did it take so long for the Major Investigation Division to take on your case?
Andre, what I would say is that in the initial state, that's where everything went wrong. The first set of police that had the case initially, that's where everything went wrong. Because when the MID took over the case, and I don't know if you're familiar with the MID, but the MID goes on cases that are very complex and difficult to solve. That's when the MID comes in. No, it all went south when the first set of police did not do their part of the job. They did not carry out their job effectively, and because of that, the MID had to come in. Now, when I say that they did not carry out their job effectively, I mean by things that they were supposed to do were not done. And when the MID came on, it was actually too late for that to be done. Because, for example, the footage at the house, their surveillance camera at the house, and I had said to the police officers that had the case initially, check the surveillance footage to see what time she left the house and who she left with. That was not done.
Really?
Right? When the MID took over the case 3 months later, there will be no history of that footage. It will already be gone. Right? In addition to that, remember that one of the stories that Shane gave was that he left her at the exit of the Old Harbour Toll Road.
Yeah. He said when him leave her off which part of the Old Harbour Toll Road. Oh, this man have left him wife pan Toll Road.
Yeah. I said to them, giving him the benefit of the doubt, I said to them, you need to go by the toll booth to check if such thing happened.
Yeah.
The surveillance camera there to see if he actually went through the toll. You know, for true, just to confirm his story or to say it proves otherwise.
Yeah.
That was not done. Up until this time, that was not done.
So,
right? I didn't... Go ahead.
So what was done? Tell us what was done.
Honestly, Andre, I would really like to know what was done because the most important things were not done. And based on my understanding, yes, there were statements taken from other persons, but the most important thing was not done. And we are coming on this platform because we have so many questions to ask and so many questions that need answers. Because I cannot fathom how it is that you are the lead investigator on the matter, and yet still the first 48 hours is the most crucial part of an investigation. But yet still at that time you sat on your ass doing absolutely nothing. I tried my absolute best not being a police officer to assist you. I gave you ideas and I gave you clues and you did absolutely nothing. Which is why up until now, it has been confirmed that the remains is that of my sister. And it is still up until now that Shane McCullough has not been taken into custody because what needed to be done initially was not done, and now it is proving difficult.
So
Thanks to
is
Mr.
she...
Pudi and thanks to Mr. Bailey.
Thanks to who?
Thanks to Mr. Pudi and Mr. Bailey. They were the ones that had the case initially.
So where was this case being reported? Which police station?
It was reported at the Matilda's police station. Matilda's Corner.
Matilda's Corner police station.
Yeah.
Mighty God.
And when we went there, they told us that the report was already made, so we cannot make a second report. We went to the commissioner's office because me and my family was very upset. Because we were upset for the fact that nobody was reaching out to us. Detective Bailey that had the case was not answering his phone. When I went to Matilda's Corner police, almost acted out of my character. That was when he reached out to me, right? And then we left there. We went to the commissioner's office, and from the commissioner's office, we went to the CIB in Alfred, and that's where they took our statement.
Wow. So where is Shane McCullough now?
I could not tell you, Andre. Based on my understanding, no one knows where he is. I could not tell you.
But
we have no idea where he is, and we have no idea where the children.
But your sister is dead.
My sister is dead.
Where are the children?
I have no idea.
Mighty God. So you don't know which part your four niece and nephew them there?
No, I saw them on the last time I saw them was on the 7th or the 8th of January. I think it was the day after the fact. I haven't seen or spoken to them since.
So you don't know if the penny them dead are alive?
No, I don't know.
What you just say? You don't know if your nephew or your nieces are alive? This serious Jamaica. And your sister is dead.
Yeah.
Your sister is dead. Your sister is dead. The remains were found where?
Bella's Gate, St. Catherine.
Bella's Gate, St. Catherine. And you don't know if your nephews and your nieces are alive.
I can't say because I haven't spoken to them.
You haven't spoken to them, you haven't seen them. Mighty God. And probably if the police had helped you from the beginning, you would have been able to identify your sister earlier.
Mr. Pudi and Mr. Bailey were not interested in the case. It was very much from a personal point of view. And I hold them accountable, and holding them accountable, Andre, I hold the JCF accountable for the family of Chantel Blake not having a body to bury. You understand me? My mother is torn into a million pieces because every time she thinks about it, the only thing that she utters is only thing she has is piece of bone and a head skull. And thanks to Mr. Bailey and Mr. Pudi for not doing a proper investigation, this was a clear-cut case. It could have been solved months ago, but because they dragged their feet, you understand me, and they took it from a personal point of view, nothing was done. There was no professionalism. It was only things coming from a personal point of view, which is why we're in this predicament. And I say this already, and I will say it again. If the JCF sits down and allows Shane to hurt my nieces and my nephew, they will be held accountable for it because negligence was done in the beginning.
But I'm going to ask you this. What you say about Fix Bailey now? What Fix Bailey do now?
I would like for him to ask Mr. Pudi and Mr. Bailey that at the case initially, what difficulty were they having? Why it is that the basic thing for an investigation was not done? What was the challenge that they were facing? And to top that off, why were we lied to? Right? We shared our concern with them, Andre, and we said to them that we're scared about him leaving the country and taking the children. Mr. Pudi and Mr. Bailey said to us that is not something for us to worry about because his travel documents were seized and there's a block for him at the port. Right? Then it has come to our understanding that he left the country. Right? So I would like to know, how did he leave the country with his travel documents being seized and there's a block for him at the port? So how did he leave the country? Right? In addition to that,
So you're saying he's not in the island?
based on information, we're not sure because we don't know where he is for sure, but based on information, it's stating that he's not here in Jamaica.
How old are your nieces and nephews?
The baby is 2, 2, 4, 6, and 8. And then the eldest one, which is a stepson, is 12.
2, 4, 6, 8, and 12.
Yeah.
And nobody has seen signs of them.
Haven't heard anything, haven't seen them.
Do you believe that these children are alive?
Andre, I want to believe so because I cannot believe anything else. I cannot entertain anything else in my thoughts. So I want to believe so.
So
I would like to know for how long.
So you have not had any leads to know where the children are?
No, everything that we've tried.
And I'm going to ask you, the police is
nothing.
not helping you to solve that side of the puzzle?
When we ask the question, the answer is they're not really sure, and they're saying that, there's nothing they can really do as it relates to the kids because their mother is not around and is their legal guardian, so there's nothing they can do about the kids. When we ask the question, we don't get a definite answer.
But the children, Chantal's children needs to be safe. And I get to understand that this man also had a previous wife that went missing.
Yes, that's what we heard, yeah.
Is there any truth to that argument?
It's still investigating, but that's what we heard, and it was from credible story.
So, and then apparently, mighty God. Whoa. So he did it first and he was able to do it again. And you weren't able to get up, but you only were able to get what? The remains and the skull and the bones?
Yes, and Andre, I'm going to be fair. Because the moment on the 6th of January when I spoke with Shane McCullough at the house, I knew that he was lying. And I knew at that point that something happened to my sister and I won't be able to see her again. I knew it. But what we wanted was for a thorough investigation, which would have at least given us a body. And thanks to Mr. Puddy and Mr. Bailey, we were not given that opportunity because they dragged their feet, they took it on a personal level, and they were not interested in what we had to say.
Mighty
and
God.
what they did was to mislead us into getting comfortable because they knew that we were very much, we were so open to everything. So anything that you'd say would comfort us. And they lied to us. They lied to us.
So you say Mr. Bailey and Mr. Puddy never help you?
No, not one bit. If they did, we would not be having this conversation because my sister would have been arrested, everything would have been over with, would have the kids because of course Shane McCullough have to go to prison. There's no if nor but nor maybe because there's a God, right?
So isn't she...
They drag their feet.
I get to understand he's a major contractor by the government.
He is.
So if he's doing contracts with the government, shouldn't he be in Jamaica carrying out those contracts now?
He's not going to stay in Jamaica because he's on, I don't know why he's so busy running up and down. He's busy hiring lawyer. He's busy hiring PI. You understand me? He's busy selling houses. He's busy changing names out of accounts. But he's not busy trying to find his wife. But of course he knew what happened, so that wasn't of interest to him. Because he knew exactly what happened.
My God. And when they found
There was a recording, Andre.
What was the recording?
The recording was with Shane and one of my aunts, right? My aunt called him and she said to him, where he took Chantel, and he said that he took her at the exit of the Old Harbour Toll, and a friend was to pick her up from there. In the recording, my auntie said to him, come and take me to where you dropped her off so we can at least look. You know what he said? He won't be able to do that until next week.
What?
Right? Your wife is missing, quote unquote. And we're asking you
next week.
And that you quote unquote dropped her off. And you're saying that you're not going to be able to do so until next week.
So you said to me, say, the man say him wife missing and him not have no
same voice note, in the same recording, he stated that he is grieving. 2 days after she's missing, you're grieving. What exactly are you grieving for?
No, this... No. Jesus, you are telling me, say, after your auntie call him and said to him, say, I could go out all lab, I go see which part. Him say him can't do that till next week?
Yes, can do that till next week.
Mighty God. Does the family plan to do a funeral for Chantel?
Absolutely. It's very disturbing to even process, because we're gonna have a funeral service to remember, the memories that we had of her, because Chantel was a really nice person.
Isn't she your twin sister?
Chantel, yeah, she's my twin sister, and Chantel is always known to be the quiet one. From school days, everybody would say she's the quiet one. I remember when we were even going to high school, they would call me the devil and call Chantel the angel. That's how quiet she was. She was even elected as a prefect. She does not deserve this, and no one deserves this. And I think what we can get, and something that we deserve as a family, was a fair and just investigation. And we have not gotten that. And thanks to Mr. Bailey and Mr. Pudi, it has made this so difficult, because what they needed to do initially was not done, and now it is too late to get some information.
No.
It is too late now to get information. And I would like Mr. Fitzbailey to ask Mr. Pudi why it is that you have someone investigating, sitting at your bar with you having drink. I would like for him to address that question.
What you say? You would have want to ask who what?
I would like Mr. Fitzbailey to ask Mr. Pudi why it is that you have someone at your bar drinking, sitting down, someone that you're investigating. Why?
My God. So you're saying that you have evidence to purport that Mr. Pudi...
Yes, we hired a private investigator. We spent money on this. We just did not spend the money on paying the police. But we hired a private investigator that gave us all the information that we needed. And we knew that there was corruption from beginning.
Whoa.
From they lied to us. You understand me? They're not taking our phone calls. And then on top of that, Mr. Pudi is going to tell me that he told Mr. McCullough to get a lawyer. What kind of madness is that? How could you be investigating somebody and on top of that you're telling them to get a lawyer?
Whoa. This serious, man. This is serious.
Angela, let me tell you something. You see, if Shane McCullough was a normal person, having a regular 9-to-5 job, and he did this, it would have been done with and dealt with a long time ago.
So it's because
he's an affluent man, because he has status and he knows persons in high places, everybody is dragging their feet.
And then your sister is dead.
And it is very unfair. Because we were not asking the JCF to bring my sister back alive, because that was not possible. All we needed was them to give me a fair and just investigation so that we could at least have a body. And they denied that when they did not do a proper investigation. And I will hold that accountable to Mr. Pudi and Mr. Bailey and the JCF at large, because that's the umbrella that they fall under.
So have you gone to the office of the children's advocate with the pictures of the children?